Hey guys! So earlier today, Once released a sneak peek for the Garden of Working Paths, which is awesome. They released it early in the day. That's really good. I love when they release it early. But this week has just been really, really crazy, so I didn't get to review it till right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch it, and then after we watch it, obviously we'll discuss it, but I'm going to do a very condensed rating wars in this video as well. We're going to get two videos in one. And if next week is as crazy as this week, which it might be, we might get ratings wars in a sneak peek review as well. I'm very happy they released a sneak peek, but I'm also not too happy they're releasing only the first one on Thursday. They should at least have released the second one. So let's watch. 1, 2, 3.
Come with me now. Murderer.
No, it's a lie. I did nothing.
Just what a murderer would say. I wouldn't.
Hey there.
Love it.
I'm Tiana. Cinderella.
Okay, so the sneak peek is really short in the sense, well, it actually just is practically short, or literally short, but in terms of what it gave, it's very, very small. Cinderella's returning to the carriage. She's hoping Henry's there. He's not. She gets attacked by the guards. She's able to, get out of the situation because Tiana comes and saves her. So the episode is going to establish probably the relationship of Tiana and Cinderella and Sabine and Jacinda, which is something I'm really looking forward to because I love the idea of Disney princesses being crossed over. I think it's a fantastic idea. I think it's one of Once Upon a Time's strong points. And Cinderella and Tiana have a lot going for them. Not only don't I really love Makia Cox as Tiana, I do like Dana Ramirez as Jacinda, though still not a fan of Cinderella. In this sneak peek, I gotta say, didn't help to solidify me liking her. In fact, it, aimed me disliking her as Cinderella. But the idea of Cinderella and Tiana together, I think is really, really smart. They're both very hardworking princesses. They're both, not modern. They're both non-royal princesses. They both married into royalty in the canon. They're both the oldest Disney princesses. Elsa would be the oldest princess, but Elsa's officially not part of the canon yet. It could happen. I'm really curious actually how Frozen 2 will do. And it just makes a lot of sense for these two to work together. Cinderella, in the Disney movie, she was a dreamer for sure. I mean, her song is a dream is a wish her heart makes. But at the same time, she was also very much a hard worker and she was a realist, and Tiana was a super realist. So I really think that these two will work together. I think Cinderella and Tiana they're the two perfect princesses to really mesh together. I think Belle and Cinderella would have been really good as well, but we're not going to have the opportunity to do Belle and Cinderella because Emily DeRaven is only coming back next week for her final episode, which is also called Beauty. Though I guess Alice will have a good chunk of stuff to do in that episode as well, which is going to be really interesting. I'm curious to see where Beauty will take us. But I think this episode, just for crossover purposes, is going to be really fun to watch, and I'm curious to see where it's going to take us. Overall, that's really all I got from the sneak peek because it's not like super plot revealing, other than the fact that it's doing exactly what I said. But now let's talk about the ratings for what aired last week. And I don't have all the numbers yet for this week because the last show, which is Once, hasn't aired yet. Though I am curious where Once will fall tonight or tomorrow night because it didn't do as good as it should have. So last week it got 2.78 million, which is a drop, obviously, because it had 3.26 for the premiere. And I really had thought that Jennifer Morrison's appearance would be enough to bring people into the show, but it wasn't. And the show essentially went back to its ratings from season 6, like the end of 6, because I think only one episode in 6B got over 3. I mean, it might have been a couple more than one. It could have been 2 or 3, but most of the episodes in 6 were in the 2s, at least at the end of B, or at least during the final 11 episodes. So that's kind of a bummer that it got a drop. And what Once really wants is it will want its episodes to stay either in the very high twos, which ABC for Fridays I guess is fine, but you know, if I was Adam Horowitz, Eddie Kitsis, or anyone working on the show, and I'm going, oh my god, I went from 12 million to 2 million. What's happening with my show? That's just really scary. And that's over 6 years, which isn't, if you think about it, a long period of time. That's maybe graduating college and graduating, you know, a master's degree or graduating high school and then starting college, but it's still like, it's not a long period. It's not. And to have such a big drop in 6 years is crazy. I understand a little drop. I understand going maybe from 12 to 6, half. Like losing half your audience makes sense, but losing 80% of your audience? Yikes. That's just, it's scary. And then also you lost half your cast, and granted you brought some of them back, but they're not, actually more than half, but whatever, like they're not starring anymore. Like the show has lost a good chunk of its meat, and it's redoing, you know, part of it, and it's still very interesting for sure. But again, you know, when you think about how season 1 had 12 and then season 7 has 2, it's not good. So I'm really curious to see where the entire show will run for all of 7. I'm guessing it'll stay in the 2s, though if it'll be this high in the 2s, that'll be a shock. But then other shows, you know, Scandal premiered with 5.52 million, and last week had 5 million. So hey, you know, stay in the 5s. That's relatively good for Scandal. Actually, well, it's relatively low, but it's its final season. That's what Once would love. I think Once would love, you know, 5 million for people to watch. That's decent. So Scandal did pretty good. It essentially held on. I mean, it lost, you know, 0.52 million people, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that badly. And, you know, you're still in the 5s. How to Get Away with Murder, you know, it did have a little bit of a drop, but from, you know, episode 1 to episode 2 had a drop, but 2 to 3, no drop at all, which is also great with television shows. You like when shows can stay completely stagnant. So the fact that it had 3.88 million for 2 and 3, good for them. So tomorrow night is their 4th episode, so I'm curious to see if 3.88 million people will also tune in. That sounds like a lot, in all honesty, and I'm guessing they can get that. Shonda Rhimes probably would want How to Get Away with Murder to get back to the force, but though she's also leaving to work for Netflix, which is interesting that Netflix was poached her. Netflix poaches so many people from networks, and ABC is kind of like a dying one, which is interesting if you look at these numbers. And Scandal's being canceled, a fantastic show. How to Get Away with Murder is suffering, and it's also a fantastic show. But How to Get Away with Murder did have a limited lifespan because it's about law school, and law school only lasts 3 years. So I think practically you can only make a show about law school students unless you recast everyone. Go 6 years. You know, essentially do a season for 1 semester, etc. Then when you go to Warner Brothers, to the CW, Supergirl had a premiere of 1.87 million last week. That sucks. That really sucks. I mean, shows on the CW like Supernatural are used to the 1s and the 2s, but not the superhero shows. The superhero shows, I mean, they're superhero characters. They're the most iconic characters in the world, and Supergirl was made in light of Superman. Come on. So 1.87 million, not good. I mean, when you look at the season 2 premiere, it had 3.06 million people watch, which that's kind of what the CW likes for superhero shows. The finale had 2.12 million. That's again what they like. It's a little lower than it's a lot lower than the premiere, but you know, you don't want to see your shows in the 2s. I think Arrow had most of the episodes in the 1s for season 5. Not good. But Arrow is, again, these superhero shows just, they generate revenue. They have such a high following on social media. They're not going to get canceled. I honestly think that's why Supernatural is still on the air, because Jared Padalecki and, oh God, who plays Dean Winchester? It'll come to me. But Jared Padalecki and the other actor whose name I'm blanking on, that they have such a great presence on social media and very interactive with their fans. It's driving me nuts. I'm blanking who plays Dean, by the way. And I'm not going to look it up. I'm not going to stop the video to look it up. But they have such a great presence on social media, and I think they have, you know, they have really a cult following that watches their show, which is why the CW keeps playing it, because people do tune in to watch. And the same essentially is applying to the superhero shows, but they want more. So Supergirl should hopefully go back up to the 2s. I think when Superman comes back in, I think he comes back next week or the week after, and the crossover, that'll be good for Supergirl. Also, speaking of superhero shows, if you look at The Flash only had 2.84 million people watch now. 2.84 is decent, But when you look at the premiere of season 3 for The Flash in comparison to 4, it did dip. The premiere of Flash had 3.17 million, and the finale of Flash season 3 had 2.04 million. So the premiere of 4 couldn't even keep into the 3s. A lot of episodes of Flash season 3 were in the 2s, but at the same time, they want their premieres at least to be in the 3s. So it's, again, it did dip. And the Flash premiere was not that good. I did not like it, in all honesty. I mean, I read like an Entertainment Weekly article, I read an Entertainment Weekly article about it that essentially praised it. I'm like, it doesn't need to be praised. Not everything in entertainment is good. It just wasn't. I didn't like the Supergirl premiere. It was just boring. It needed more meat. And that's what premieres and finales need. They need meat. They need to be entertaining. They need to start something so you will tune into the next episode in the Supergirl premiere. I'm still watching it, and I'm still watching Flash, but it didn't engage me enough. The Arrow premiere, which had the lowest ratings, it's not on this list, but Arrow had the lowest ratings between Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and Flash, and it was the most interesting. And it's horrible that happened. It should have... Arrow really should have been the highest because plot-wise, most engaging. Then when you go to Universal, This Is Us had the same holdover from week 2 to week 3 at 11.02 million. Obviously, 11.2 to all the other numbers we talked about is drastically higher, but NBC is just known to have those really high numbers. But what's great about This Is Us is that it's like a fantastic show. I love this week's episode; it's so good, and it's keeping its high ratings, which is really all you can care about. High and equal is what you want. Honestly, if Once could have had 3 to 3, would have been fine. So good for NBC. Again, they're not going to win the day because their viewership is always, like, I'm going to use the word inflated, but it's not literally inflated because this is the actual number, but NBC always just does better. But because, they're stagnant, they haven't officially won. I would really say How to Get Away with Murder won because that's the one most in jeopardy, because How to Get Away with Murder could possibly be canceled. Well, This Is Us is not getting canceled. I think it's already renewed for season 3. Then when you go to Fox for Lucifer, which I believe is actually a DC show, I don't watch Lucifer, though I've been told to watch it. And if you guys want to talk about Lucifer in the comments below and to give me some ideas of what it's like, let me know. But I did look up the ratings. The premiere of Lucifer had 3.92 million, which is good. It seemed decent for Fox. And then the week 2 last week had 3.33 million. So it dropped just a little bit, but it stayed in the 3s. And heck, if you can stay in the 3s, if you can go up, obviously that's great. But if you don't go into the next number on the scale, going backwards, you're fine. So Lucifer did really well. So I would say Lucifer, How to Get Away with Murder, and This Is Us, just for stagnant, did really well. I would say Supergirl and Once Upon a Time really did lose here. Flash has a chance to go back up. I mean, the crossover is supposed to be amazing, so I think Flash and Supergirl really will be fine. But overall, that's really how the ratings for last week look. I think overall, the shows are fine for the current seasons the shows are in. And this week, it will be really interesting to see as well. So anyway, that is Ratings Wars. I will do a ratings video for this week, next week, hopefully not as late. If a sneak peek gets released earlier, I'll probably just combine it again. It's fun to do a video where we're talking about about 2 different topics and have a fun conversation in the comments. So thank you so much for watching my review of both the sneak peek and Ratings Wars. Share your thoughts about both in the comments below, and we will talk very soon. All right, guys. Bye.